What's going on, everybody? Just want to get on here and bring everybody back to now. Appreciate y'all being here and vibing with me for a bit. I just wanted to give a kind of a quick update on kind of what's going on with kind of the cafe and kind of what's going on with like the new direction of like the handyman business and really taking action, dramatic action, really, and sharing that with you guys too. So if you may be on the fence about pursuing your passion, your dream, a new direction in life, the fear that might come up, the what ifs, woulda, coulda, shouldas, and the worst case scenarios that sometimes we think about when starting something new or experiencing an unknown thing, moving in a new direction. A lot of times this stuff comes up, but it's when you face it and push through it, it tends to work out. I just want to share my experience with that, just for the benefit of others. I went to this morning and met with the Chamber of Commerce. I've had my handyman business in town, I think 4 years now, and like I was telling them, it's at this point pretty I don't really do much as far as like marketing, promoting, advertising. I just get phone calls and all word of mouth basically, and looking to expand that so I can finance a cafe with my wife, and basically she's going to do that, but just helping to get that from the invisible dream to a physical reality is part of like maybe an interesting flow that people might not know is something they could do in their town. So much of everything is just like it's like, oh, why can't we why isn't there more things to do around here? And like mainly because people are afraid to try anything new, and it's like it's a great opportunity if you're crazy enough to to try it, and just to see it come together is really satisfying. And so kind of share what's in the agenda for me is like talking with the chambers, like I need to get some people, I need to build a team, and I thought that would be a relatively easy thing to do, which it's now just like every other part of like I don't know, the creation process. There's like that limbo of like you have this inner vision, but then it's almost like the outside situations and circumstances are like showing the opposite. And it's like during that time where you just hold fast to the faith that it's like the team's already, God's going to deliver the right people and the right jobs and everything's going to line up, it's all going to be okay. Just need to stand strong and keep moving in this direction regardless of what the physical senses are showing. Staying loyal to the unseen and just trusting. But in that the weird obstacle that's now emerged is finding people to work. It's like I was talking to the chamber. I was like, I put an ad, a bunch of ads out and a bunch of things I thought would get people's attention, and calling people, my contacts, just networking, trying to say, hey, anybody looking for. Basically what I'm hiring for is like a lead, like handyman and a general labor crew. Maybe 2 guys, maybe 1 guy at first. Just somebody who really, I can drop a job in their lap and tell them, hey, I need you to get this done. Here's a guy to help you do it. You can get it done in a timely way. And, I got other things to do, and so, focusing my attention on getting new jobs and growing and meeting with people and sharing, trying to get a team outside of just like a work team, just a network of other business owners in town that we can mutually benefit from working together, and really focusing in that way. And then also the cafe, which is a vision that my wife holds, and so so the conversations was a whole lot of oh, well, with COVID and everybody getting these bonus checks, that's a real problem that a lot of businesses around here are having, is finding people that are willing to work, because there's like a surplus of jobs. And and meanwhile there's kind of a weird situation going on with that, which I don't necessarily even believe that's real. It's just what's presenting. It's like not really taking that as a, oh, well, this is going to be hard and challenging. It's just like, okay, well, now here's some weird resistance that's starting to come up. Looking at it like that, like, it's just some weird obstacles, some barrier, which by just letting go and just trusting in the unseen, and also just trusting in taking things as they come and not getting into the mind of like, oh, well, what if this happens? And what if I can't find anybody? And then I can't grow this. And then I can't use that money to then finance this. And then, all these what ifs and everything that's starting to pop up, really getting out of that kind of mindset. Just like, okay, well, that's the new challenge. So finding people, that's what's on my agenda. That's what my focus is on, and not pushing that away, but just being in a state of gratitude. A state of gratitude where knowing that the team is going to be a reflection of the vision, this inner state of consciousness, and it'll all be synchronistically and kind of almost supernaturally come together. Through like the law of attraction, law of assumption, quantum science. Just quantum. Just whatever. Just seeing it and play out over and over again through the handyman business so far, plus the music business. It's just how basically God provides the customers and the opportunities and everything. The biggest thing is to say yes, which might be the hang up now, because I do have one person has applied. The reason I'm hesitant to even call them is because I called their reference and they hung up on me. And so it's like, oh, okay. And then the other reason is that they are already employed. And so, and I know where they're working. And so, it's not that the skills aren't transferable or anything. It's just that, are they going to be a good fit? What is their salary requirements and stuff? It's like, do I got to do one better than where they're already working to get their attention and stuff like that? And so kind of just bookmarking that for now. But then, the chamber there asked me if I'd hire felons and stuff, and like I actually don't even mind that if like that's in the past, if that's part of the old person, and they kind of woke up while they were locked up and really wanted to make a new change in their life. Not a problem. I'd love to help be a blessing to them, and I understand how hard some of those guys are willing to work to create a new life for themselves, and so I don't shy away from that. Like I told her. The only issue is like if they're not in a new mindset, if they're carrying that old mindset, and some of the drama that comes with that, it's like may not be a good fit. But at this point, we'll see what's going to happen. So after talking with her for about an hour, kind of got the direction of like, oh well, it sounds like you need an accountant, and she's kind of hooked me up with a good accountant. Which kind of shares a similar kind of idea, I guess. The way she made it sound is like it'd be a good fit. And so I haven't met with this guy yet, but I just checked my email, and I got an email from her, from the chamber. Big, just really just over the top. And I'm really thankful that, she put so much effort and time into this email, really trying to help me to get people, just resources, places I can really tap into to try to find the right people, besides just me just hitting the pavement. Because a big part of what's going on in this new flow, has been very, at this point, comfortable to just kind of have my handyman business going. I just get calls, go do jobs, and, have a comfortable amount of, my bills being paid, good food, it's just, a cushion to, for my wife to splurge on things, and things have gotten pretty comfortable, a lot more abundant mindset, a lot more physical abundance to kind of work with. And, at the same time, now that, the new kind of direction has started to emerge, it's like, okay, well, let's go big. Let's just, do, because I almost feel like, part of it was like, I don't want to say like a lack of motivation or drive or anything, but it was just like, for what purpose? Why grow it into a thing just to do it? And create a bunch of headache. If I don't have to, and I can just live comfortably just doing what I'm doing, why would I go and do something like that? But like, but now there's like a motivator. So like the motivator is a cafe. And something to bring new to the town. Something to create a good energy in the town, and like, yeah, and so it's really put a fire in me to go, okay, well, let's go full throttle then. Let's see what happens. It'll be exciting and new and different. And so, so left there, I ended up going to an estimate, and ended up getting that job. So like next week on I think Tuesday, I got a painting job for like $700. This job will immediately follow the painting job. The painting job should take about Tuesday, Wednesday I should be done with it. And so, that leaves Thursday and Friday to work on the other job, which is about a $400 job. Just a bunch of oddball things. The guy just bought a house. He just bought this house and isn't even living there at the moment, but he wants to. He's got some things he needs to kind of address before they move in. One of which is the bathroom that I'm gonna be working on, hanging a door, for a bedroom, and then bracing up some joists and stuff, and in the garage, and not anything super big, but already kind of seeing how the flow is coming together for the cafe, and seeing how this is starting to play together, regardless of what maybe the outer appearances is, because that guy turned out to be the parent of somebody that my wife works with, who is also interested in the cafe. And we started talking about the cafe, and talking about how yesterday we met with some people that own some of the buildings downtown, and talking to them about really trying to bring something different, and seeing how we can both like kind of work together, besides just a tenant landlord, like, here's the rent, don't fuck with me and I won't fuck with you type of relationship, to more of like, how can us being in here add value to your building, and be easy for you, and be a benefit for both of us. Part of the people that also own that building have some photography business going on upstairs. Multiple people doing that. It's like telling him, it's like, well, it would be great. We'll need some stuff on the wall. We'll need some good art and decoration and stuff. We can maybe work together and, bring their photography downstairs. So it's like some more culture, some more artistic shit going on to look at and whatnot. And, so the wheels are in motion. But like, if this is a new time you first caught this, this channel, this stream or whatever, we're doing this with basically flipping money that I'm profit from the handyman business to finance this. Not taking a loan or anything to make this happen, and having virtually zero to put down at this particular moment in time. But that doesn't really matter to me, because it's like doing this so many times. So many times the hang up is, first I get the money, then I do it. When every business I've ever started, I just started doing it, and then the money followed, and so this is going to be no different. And so you keep continuing to move in this direction, and hopefully by sharing some of these bridges of incidents and these synchronistic things, how everything starts to come together. Because part of what we started talking about with the guy did the estimate at is like, he's retired, he's basically excited with how things are going downtown, because it's starting to become more and more bustling, and people are walking around, and businesses are opening up. Really, I don't know. A while ago, a lot of the businesses downtown, it has been a ghost town for years, and a lot of it had to do with like changing flow. Because like Walmart and some of the bigger stores and shit that came in, a lot of the mom and pop style, just general stores and shit didn't make it through that, and not to blame like a retailer or anything for doing that, but part of it is kind of revamping that shit, and so instead of having a bunch of vacant buildings downtown, now it's a lot more now it's starting to bustle more. The apartments, and a lot of them upstairs, you're getting remodeled, and there's some town incentives to money incentives, like price matching, for remodeling jobs. And one of my customers, I think she was saying they did like for every dollar you spent, they put like 50 cents down, up to like, I think $50,000, something like that. So they're offering a lot of incentive that the local government, town mayor, and everybody, is like really wanting that to be a thing. And so it's like, I guess telling the lady at the town council or the Chamber of Commerce, it's like, well, once I get, crew going, I'd love to, I worked at a place that the guy that owned it, he basically set it up so 2 weeks out of the year you get paid for doing community service. And yeah, and so I'd like to continue that kind of a mindset and do something for like maybe downtown businesses that are maybe not have the money to paint and this would be more for like the downtown landlords, because like the businesses are one thing, but then like the landlords a lot of times, it's like, when it comes to cleaning up the fronts of the buildings and stuff, it's like, well, I don't have a tenant, downstairs, or they got struggling tenants, they got vacancies, they got, this and this, you got different issues and problems. And it's like the last thing I need to do is put 20 grand in the outside when I got a bunch of shit going on the inside that needs addressed, but like, making it very easy to be like, hey, if you buy the paint, I can come out there with like, my sprayer and a couple guys and get it done in a day or two, and like, and just do that just to do it, basically just for the energy that brings, and then not only that, then it just makes the town I live in better, and so continuing on in that direction too, but yeah, so next week we got the painting job, got that random list of things to do. I have no help. And I also have a barn to paint, and a bathroom to down in the basement to just pull up the shower and cut the water lines and cap them that used to go to that shower, and then trim some doors and change a deck around. I gotta somebody, my dad, he needs his gutters reattached. I guess the wind blew the gutters down. So it's like all this stuff is starting to pile up, and it's starting to feel a little bit of a tension of like how am I gonna get all this stuff done, and so not letting that be like a paralyzing thing, but like also just recognizing, okay, well, whenever this person that's gonna help me do this, whenever that comes from out of the vision, out of the internal dream into physical reality, and next thing you know, there's somebody that needs a job, probably in a way that I don't even expect. I'm probably, I got that big email from the lady of the chamber, and she wanted me to write detailed job description and all of this stuff, and like trying to do that, and it'd be funny to do all that effort and everything, getting a job description, and then somebody just like falls into my lap, basically, where it's like, oh, I just been looking for a job and looking for an opportunity to do something like that, and we'll see. But I want to continue to share that with you guys so you can kind of go, oh, you don't need to, you can just start in on things like that. You don't need to, jump through all these hoops and everything. It's like, so many times people get hung up on like maybe the licensing that some businesses have to go through to operate. Not every business needs licensing to operate. And, it just depends on what's going on in your area. I mean, it'd just be just as simple to do any type of a service-based type of job, or business or whatever, and start to tap into that now if that's the direction you want to move into, but like moving forward, I was like really hoping to I don't know, just really be doing a lot of things locally, and not only just locally, but then growing opportunities for others, and really looking at what's being presented now, maybe with felons, and she even gave me the number to the guy doing house arrest and community correction, because like and she said they got a speaker coming in for everybody that's part of the chamber on how like retention, on employee retention, because it seems like people around here are having issues, like big issues with like holding on to staff with just like the stimulus checks and unemployment and shit like that, and so not to say people that are doing that are doing anything wrong. It's like you can use that as a great opportunity to start self-employment. If you get bunch of kids running around, you get a big stimulus check, it's a great opportunity, great free money for the moment. I don't know if that's going to end up being something like taxable thing or something, but who cares? It's just, it's a good chunk to get you moving in a direction. But at the same time, a lot of it, is just being open and saying yes, and when the phone rings and there's a job, to say yes and figure it out as you go along. It's like so many times, I kind of hear, maybe in like the law of attraction, or like the law of assumption, Neville Goddard kind of crowd, where it's like, a lot of it's being, in your imagination and stuff like that. But really doing and taking action, I feel like, is almost overlooked, because like, it's like, oh, the loyalty to the unseen and the state of being and holding on to that. And it's like, yeah, that's important, because now is the only time that you're actually at peace in the present moment, and this is the only time that you're feeling, you're feeling good or you're feeling bad. That happens like now, and so yeah, I get that. But then the part where you get these I don't know, divine manifestations of like your dreams coming true. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm not going to discourage people from trying that. But I hear that, and it's like, oh, if you have a desire to like play guitar, as somebody who plays guitar, it's like there's been a lot of like attention and practice, and you learn through doing. It's like you can sit there and you can watch like guitar teachers like teaching you scales and chord progressions, and like, oh, these are weird tunings, and oh, this is how you do finger styles, but until you're actually putting it in practice and trying it, you don't. It's a different thing. It's like you can hypothetically in your mind daydream about playing the guitar, and being like really good at it. And just like, oh, if I, imagine how you feel ripping a solo or something. And it's like, I don't know if you can really imagine it until you do it. It's like the exact feeling, because it's different than what you think, in a lot of different ways, but by doing, you start to see that difference, and the thing about like taking action with, holding on to the faith, it's almost like it hyperdrives it, and like and things just start clicking together. It's like, that little checklist job I'm gonna do after the paint job. I had no idea that was gonna happen. My phone just rang yesterday, and there it was. My phone could ring in 5 minutes, and I could have another. I could have a house to flip. I could have a yard to mow. All these just random things. It's holding on to that, knowing that, or it could be somebody looking for a job. It's just, you never know what's coming, and that's part of the excitement. But then also like a fear of the unknown that might start to be a limiting thing, where you don't want to keep facing these unknowns and standing right there and dealing with like woulda, coulda, shouldas, what could happen. And it's like the thing I've realized though through doing over and over again is a lot of times you have that initial, when you first make the mental change, it's almost like there is I don't know, some drama, resistance, whatever you want to call it, that almost like it denies that change is possible, because it's almost like it's like, oh, I want to, this is just a recent example, oh, I want to expand my handyman business, and where people in the past were like asking, hey, can I, you got any extra jobs? You got, things I can do, these types of things, where it was like abundant, now it's like, okay, well, yeah, I just get a team together. It should be easy. I had people, nagging at me for, jobs, last year. Oh, now all of a sudden, now the only choice is like felons and, and like 15-year-olds. It's like, what is going on? And it's like, it's obvious that it's like that initial resistance, and a lot of times people get that immediate resistance and then quit. It's like, oh, it's impossible. oh, just my worst case scenario just happened. But it's part of this pattern, though. And it's like, okay, it's like when you start losing weight. Sometimes I've heard people that when they first start dieting, they gain like 5 pounds. I'd say that's mental activity that has caused that physical manifestation. But like but you get these weird things, these weird challenges. I was doing like stretching, before going on bike rides and stuff. I could barely touch my shin, let alone my toe. When I first started, I could barely tie my shoes without bending and creaking and everything else. And like through just doing it and just having that. And the thing about like manifestation and shit like that, we've always been doing it. This isn't something new. It's like, a lot of times you almost get these fears, when you first like start realizing that your inner state of consciousness is having, an effect on your life. It's not just something private that you're just experiencing, but somehow it's projecting onto others. And there's like especially with unconscious patterns of suffering where you're just creating drama and shit that's just not working out, and it's just the opposite of what you want, and you don't understand why. A lot of it has to do with your beliefs and your assumptions. A lot of this shit from childhood, where parents taught you to believe, that's just random nonsense. And like but until you go, hey, this is random nonsense, why am I holding on to this so fervently? Then all of a sudden you're just creating the same kind of loops. But when you start to go, okay, well, there's something to this. I don't necessarily know what exactly it is, but this isn't new. It's always been this way. So you have this inner state going. These thoughts, these beliefs, these assumptions. That's getting mirrored externally. Through basically your relationship with God is being shown to you in many different ways outside of yourself, because we're all connected. We're all we all are like one, basically. It's almost like there's a double thing. There's like a uniqueness that everything is so unique, like a snowflake. But when each snowflake's clumped together, it just looks like one thing of snow. It's very similar kind of in principle. But like looking more and more into these things that pop up that look like opposition or something that denies your new direction, realizing that really is more programming and an illusion, and is something to overcome or push through, or to realize the pattern over and over again and kind of laugh at it. It's like, oh, there's my opposition, this drama, this new, oh, now what? Oh, now what should I worry about? And like pushing through that phase. And it's like feeling a lot of that at the moment, with like kind of what's happening in my life, where it's really growing and expanding one thing over here to create kind of just a situation for my wife to do her dream, and realizing as helping another fulfill their dream, that helps my dreams also come true, because we're all connected. So what you give, you get back. It's like what kind of how you help others, it comes back because you're helping yourself. And so many different types of ways to look at that. But even when it comes to paying others, and it's like talking about that with the lady at the chamber, because I really want to motivate people through commission, so that they can share in the abundance of doing a good job and be excited about doing new things and growing, and having their hard work pay off, and and really creating a good job, a good thing for the community, for people to support families and everything else, and letting go of the control, which is something that has to do again with scarcity. So I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a scarcity belief that if I let go of the control and give it to others, then I lose, which it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, part of me knows that doesn't make sense, but recognizing that that's some programming, that's a belief, and all a belief is just a thought that you've thought many times, and there's almost like an emotional charge to it, and it's like your mind has the two components. You have the conscious part that tries to keep the subconscious mind safe from impressing it with contrary information that so it's like, well, there were so many times in childhood where your logical conscious mind was just letting everything in the subconscious mind make be impressed, and what is that beep? But now, anything that is opposite of what your conscious mind is used to impressing your subconscious mind with, it resists it, or it puts up walls of resistance, or challenges with these different beliefs and everything that start to emerge as you're facing new things that challenge your comfort zone. And a big part of it is letting go of it, recognizing it, and seeing it. It's like, oh, there's the challenge, there's the resistance, but having faith that in the problem, the solution's already there too. So just trusting God to basically orchestrate everything, taking the hands off the wheel, getting you stop trying to control everything, and just putting people in place to thrive. That's the kind of the goal. And so I just wanted to share that kind of concept with you. I'm going to continue to share this kind of concept. It's kind of getting away from kind of like the typical vibe of like this particular type of playlist video, which I might create on like a series where it's just following the kind of the path of like creating a business, and step by step, because it might be helpful for people, because people live in many types of cities and towns and stuff like this. And this is applicable for, the town I live in. I think it's like 12,000 people, 15, something like this. It's big enough for a Lowe's and a Walmart, and McDonald's, and, most of the shit you get in about 90% of medium-sized towns, like a downtown that's like kind of like ghostly and but coming back, and stuff like that, but even a smaller town, you could do this on some level, all the way up to a big city. It doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of scale, but it's the same principle. And like continuing to show, try to, and part of like getting an accountant, the chamber lady recommended, and I think that's a good thing, because I'm weak at keeping track. I'm good at like getting jobs, making money, and doing jobs, and stuff like that. But keeping receipts and just like really just keeping track of stuff like that. It would be a really good benefit, especially having people that I got to deal with, paying them, and it just makes sense. It made a lot of sense to get an accountant, and so and then plus with the cafe, I mean, this shit's gonna get number wise, and I need to really next logical step, obviously. and so I really look forward to seeing how that, meeting with that guy and seeing what kind of ways I can, not pay taxes. Hopefully he knows the loopholes and everything to really make that, whatevers. And like, it's so funny when people get so triggered, by taxes. It's like, this might be off topic, because I see people on Facebook, I forget, very COVID shit or something, people were just being triggered about like taxes, and it's like not paying your fair share, and it's like, you realize most of these big corporations probably make money from the government, right? Like paying zero taxes, and like not only that, but tax credits to keep their businesses in people's towns and everything. Most of the time, and it's, that can be a whole nother rabbit hole. It's just talking about taxes and kind of the absurdity of that. And most people don't even pay taxes. It's like most of it is you let the government sit on your money for a year, or they collect interest, keep the interest, and give you your money back. What taxes you paying? You get $8,000 refund check at the end of the year, and you only put in $5,000, and that's a whole nother tangent. But that'll be for the accountant to worry about, not really so much for me to deal with. And it'll just be, hand that over, which will be a blessing, because like I said, it just is one thing after another, but really hooking that up. And with that being said, I think I'm gonna probably balance, and I might start doing a different playlist, kind of moving in a different direction, as I'm showing you guys like how to like do your own thing, start it from scratch, basically having that inner vision, and through maybe an untraditional route where it's not just, oh, well, here's my credit score, here's my 20% lump sum, and thank you bank for a loan, and let me get this is a different type of way of doing it. Not to say that the other way is bad, but it's just me personally, I just like I don't know. I don't like taking loans, because then I feel on the hook to somebody else, and that might just be my own, issues and whatnot. But like even like if someone like is like, hey, I want to invest with you, it's like, what do you want in return? Are you going to be nagging me? Am I going to talk to you every day about finances? Because again, that's talk to the accountant. Maybe that's be a good job for the accountant. You're like, okay, well, you can talk to this guy. I don't know, but like I just want to continue to show you guys how these bridges of incidents start to unfold, without having big like a big lump sum to do shit with, just show you how to flip it and network, and possibly hook up somebody else that has money, but they don't have the the drive to get a team together or do any work. They just want to just like the idea, and they just want to invest, and have it be part of their reality where they can go into a cafe and people are like that. Not everything's about money. It's surprising, maybe for some, but like not everything has to do with just dollars and cents. Sometimes people just want to do things for different motivations, and connecting with people that are motivated in a direction of just creating positive energy is one thing. You got others that just want to here's 10 grand, I got a shitload of cash, and I know because of inflation it's decreasing in value, so I want to put my money into something that's increasing in value, and think like that. Others just, everybody's different, and there's many ways to kind of work together. And a lot of times, I've heard from a lot of people, that when you're starting something, it's always a good practice to use other people's money. Like, how do you do that? But like, it's all coming together. And so I just want to continue to show you guys and move in that direction. And, hopefully, bring you guys like video of like being in a cafe, and like having employees in my handyman business, and like maybe having a building for that, an office, and all sorts of stuff. Never say never, I guess, because all things are possible, and you can do, be, or have anything, as long as you're going for it and just do it and trusting God that God's going to provide it. And hopefully be able to show you guys more and more so as it comes from the idea to practice, to seeing how the bridge of incidents unfolds, to and then the next thing it's just the reality. It just happens. And and continue to show you guys, and might move a different playlist and try to keep from rambling too much right now, but like I just kind of want to move in that direction. But especially with all the COVID shit, honestly, with the, like where I live, a lot of that's coming to a halt. There's no mask horse shit. And like, I almost forget that people are still living in pandemic world, because it's so far from my daily life, and has been like that for months and months and months. It's like, yeah, it's surprising to me to, that people, that you still talk to people that are concerned about shit like that, but like, it's really opening up a really good opportunity though for others that are wanting to really move full steam, because there's so much opportunity, because like, probably half the population is checking out for a while, and so if they're gonna check out, then really there is no competition anyway. You're only competing against yourself, and you're always competing against yourself. That's it. You don't have, you're just like, I started a business and now I got some competitor in town that just started it up. It's like that their business is either going to help yours on some level, or their own bad business practices or states of consciousness, is either going to, either you're both going to thrive, or they won't, but it's not going to affect you, because your business is a reflection of your beliefs and you, and if you are recognizing a lot of these consciousness, say laws or whatever, laws of consciousness, cause and effect, and law of attraction, law of assumption, all these types of things, if you keep the principles though, it's just, what would Jesus do, would that pretty much helps you make those choices in the moment, because you only choose in the moment, and you only have two choices. You're going to choose fear, or you're going to choose love. And if it's the voice for scarcity and fear, you're listening to the wrong guide, and to do the opposite, even if that feels uncomfortable at first, and then you face the drama and the resistance, but then there's the overcoming it, and then there's like really an exciting thing that starts to happen as you start to see it happening more and more obviously, as your confidence begins to grow, and not to be afraid that you're going to have all of this shit way beyond what you're capable of handling. Look at everything as being, even right now, being perfectly representing what you're able to steward in every single way possible. The voice of the ego is always wanting more and more in the future to feel happy and at peace and content now, but that's an illusion. The more you're able to hold on to that now and feel good right now, that's where it's at. And the outer situations, as you're more at peace now, as you're able to hold on to that and not be frustrated and anxious and pissed and scared and what about this, and just in constant just fear and worry, and basically creating a pendulum, as trans surfing people would understand, where it's just like, you created this business that turned into a pendulum that just causes you nothing but anxiety and fear and loathing and desperation, and some basically like kind of the worst kind of states of consciousness, letting go of that and realizing that everything that's happening is happening on purpose. It's all orchestrated. It's all part of like a bigger thing. Nothing is being added that you can't handle. It might be just a hair above where you feel comfortable. It might just be like a big enough obstacle or challenge or whatever. But look at it like it's a game. It's like, you're playing Mario or whatever. You start off at the easiest fucking level where it's just simple little mushrooms to step on, and it's not that hard as you're getting used to it. But it gradually starts to increase in complexities and new obstacles and stuff. But if you're not worried about like, what will happen if Yoshi falls off the cliff on every single level, it just recognize that it's, this is a challenge. This isn't the end of the world. This isn't life and death, and it can be overcame. It will be figured out as you're doing it. What's hitting the radar now, and that's what you work on. What get out of your mind about the what ifs and what could happen in 6 months. This is how can we take today and just really just create the most value for everybody. What can we do today to make that happen, to keep our own state of consciousness too, and not briefly talked about the importance of really staying in your own frame. and not really being concerned what other people are thinking, because you might be able, and you start to feel people's energies on some level if you keep track of yours. If what feels good, feels like abundance of energy versus like a draining type of situation with somebody else where you feel like your energy is being taken away, and you almost start to become I don't know, you start looking towards others as having power to take things from you, because you're so concerned about their state of consciousness, where you're trying to elevate their states of consciousness by trying to get inside their head a little bit, but then you're not in your own head, and so it's like really focusing on keeping your attention to your own state of consciousness, what's going on within you, and not trying to be a mind reader, or really trying to shape and mold other people's consciousness in any type of way, other than to just extend love, but and not put them in fear, but also recognize that their state of consciousness is their problem to steward, not yours, and so. Yeah, and with that being said, I'd like to wrap these things up with a quote-unquote random, Bible verse. Nothing's random. God's 100% in control of literally everything and speaks to us in the moment. I just want to give God a chance to speak to you, who's ever listening now. Let's see what God's got to say. 1 Peter 2:19 through 21. For this is thankworthy, if a man have conscience toward God, endure grief, suffering wrongfully. For what glory is it, if when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? But if when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable with God. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. And there you go. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys liking, sharing, subscribing, all the social networking things. I appreciate your attention for this long. Hopefully I've been a good steward of that. And, hopefully, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I also appreciate your support, spiritually and physically. I appreciate that. If you guys need music, any of that type of stuff, you're doing YouTube videos, truth videos, any type of thing that's really adding positivity to the world, feel free to use my music in your videos for free. And I don't care if you monetize your videos. And if you feel like you want to throw some cash, if you have it, for the music or whatever, feel free to hit the link below. To support me for that, and just if you feel like supporting the cafe or the handyman business, or just me and my family, I also appreciate that. If it's for the cafe or whatever, trying to think of a good way to showcase that support, thinking maybe put something on an angel wall or something, put your name on it, put a little message, and then I could take a picture or video of it, and you guys can see where your money went in our community and stuff. And it might be a cool thing if you're ever in the area. You could stop by and hang out and whatnot. And so with that being said, I appreciate you guys, and have a good rest of your now, and God bless.